Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends Team Shop update video. In the last video, I asked you guys to tell me what video you wanted to see the most, and the most requested was the Team Shop update video, followed by Uria's Bodyguard analysis, and I figured maybe I can do a 2-in-1. I'm not going to go too in depth with Uria's Bodyguard because I looked really quickly at her skills and they didn't really impress me, but more on that later. So let's see what's new to this Team Shop. We have Uria's Bodyguard for 2.5k coins. We can buy her cells for 375 for 10 of them. General Patrice is back at 2.5k coins and they cost the same, her and the new Bodyguard. We have General Uria for 1.8k coins, Patrice's pet for 1.5, Uria's pet for 1.25. We have Lager Khan for 600 war coins, very little for legendary. I wonder why. We have Lathe for 1.5k coins, Monster Clutch for 900 war coins. Then we have Rockovan, an epic legendary monster. And then some monster cells. We have General Patrice, Uria, Patrice's pet. Basically all the monsters that are available, you can get some cells for them. And let's see, what else do we have. We have the runes, always the runes. Level 4 runes, level 5, level 6, and level 7. And that's pretty much it. So there's not too much to talk about. So you know what, let's just go ahead and look at Uria's Bodyguard right now on monsterwiki.com. Alright, Uria's Bodyguard, the one thing you really have going for you is your speed. 3476, this is on the higher end of speeds. The new go-to base speed now is 3498. But this is still a really good speed. And as for her trait, she has hardened. She's also in the Team Wars book, the Spirits book, the Good Legions book. Oddly enough, she's not in the Females book. As for her relics, she can hold a Staff relic and an Amulet relic. And for her ultimate, it's a single enemy, but it's a Mega Stun. Now the interesting thing about this monster, let me scroll back up, her power, not that high, right? So she's not going to be an attacker. Her ultimate attack, Mega Stun, that's pretty good, however it's single. And looking at all of her other skills, deals moderate special damage. This does pretty much nothing. Right here, gives 30% of stamina to an ally. That's kind of weak. Electric Augmentation applies double damage to an ally with a 1-turn cooldown. Okay, a supportive skill. Spark Barrage, it's a 50% chance of blinding one enemy target with no cooldown. Reverse Flow removes all negative status effects from one ally. Applies energy regeneration to one ally. So another supportive skill to a single ally, however not too amazing. Focus Outburst, keep in mind this is already skills group 2. Applies double damage to all allies, applies precision to all allies. This is probably one of her better skills. It's a team supportive skill. Slight Fulmination, deals very heavy special damage to an enemy, applies blind. So single blind, and here very heavy special damage means 55 damage, which I don't consider that to be very heavy special damage. We have Unstoppable Current, which is all of her allies are immune to freeze and possession. So this is one skill she does have going for her. She can be a counter to anyone that has AoE freeze skills or AoE possession skills. And then she has Empower Barrage, applies double damage to all allies. And so what skills would you give this monster? I think it's pretty obvious, right? You give her the team double damage skill, you give her the team immunity to freeze and possession skill, you give her the team damage boost and increased accuracy skill. Keep in mind that damage boost and double damage, those two skills can stack. And then for her fourth and final skill, you give the blind skill because you never know when a blind can come in handy. As for her other skills, they're really not too impressive. And as for how good is this monster, I think it's really situational. I think the best skill she has going for her is her Unstoppable Current, which gives your whole team immunity to freeze and possession. And considering the book she's in, more specifically like the Spirits book, there's a few monsters that can possess you. If you manage to get the upper hand on them, and the enemy is running a monster with an AoE possession denier, well, you go first with General Uria's Bodyguard, you give your team immunity to possession. Now the enemy's denier basically becomes useless as they can't possess you or anything. And then on the following turns, you're free to give your monsters that double damage buff, or you're free to give them that slight damage buff with increased accuracy so they don't miss their next attack, or if needed to, you can just blind a single enemy. And then the other thing Unstoppable Current has going for it is that first effect removes all negative status effects from allies. So in that situation where, keep in mind you have the hardened trait, if the enemy denier is faster than you and they land some AoE deny but not against Uria's Bodyguard, but they do land it on your teammates, you'd completely get rid of that. So that skill I think is her most useful skill. But other than those scenarios I just mentioned where you're able to get the upper hand, or you're just relying on luck, relying on your trait, I don't see her being that amazing. And so with that said, I don't think this monster is worth the 2.5k coins. And so moving on, we have General Patrice, who's also back in the team shop. And for the longest time, this was like the go-to monster. If there was one general you would recommend, it would always be General Patrice. But I would say now with the addition of relics, she's not that much of a threat anymore. There's relics that when your monsters fall below a certain amount of stamina, they can easily recover stamina. And so it's become incredibly easy to counter General Patrice. And on top of that, there are other relics that essentially drain stamina. So there's kind of relics that can replace General Patrice. So I would say she isn't as usable anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, she's still good and every general is always going to be good because of their trait, their tough trait, 35% chance to not get immobilized, or 35% chance to not get hit with negative effects. So because of that, they're a great monster to put on defense, because now the enemy can't rely on AoE deny followed by an attacker just taking out the enemy team. It doesn't work that way just because of the trait. And so she's definitely a great monster. She's kind of lost the edge she had on all other monsters, although I will say that even herself, you can put that same relic that is used to counter her, the charging banner, in which case after you do stamina devours, on her next turn, she can have a relic that recharges her stamina, so then she can use another attack. So she's still great for offensive plays, but you do have to just be on the lookout for what relics the enemy has on defense, because believe me, it is so easy to counter General Thetis now. And so for that reason, it's hard to actually even recommend her. 2.5k coins, take a look at my war coins, I have 2,397. So how many wars does it take to get this many war coins? Quite a bit, and to just get one monster that's going to be at level 100, considering Social Point throws out so many events where they give you a rank 1 monster up to a rank 3 monster with the races. I don't know if I could really recommend spending that many war coins on a single monster. And then we have General Uria, Thetis' pet, and Uria's pet. Honestly, it's so hard to recommend a monster just because of the amount of time it takes to get war coins. It takes a lot. Like, even if we were to assume you were to win 3 wars back to back to back, 400 war coins in each war, that's only 1,200 coins. You'd be 50 coins shy of being able to purchase Uria's pet, and that would take you 6 days to actually get. But now let me ask you this, how many teams actually get 400 war coins back to back to back? Not many teams, like rarely any. So it's just so hard to recommend monsters from the team shop. But I will say, of the monsters available, I would probably have to go for either Uria's pet or Thetis' pet. And because there are so many amazing water monsters, so many incredible water monsters to choose from actually, I think I would have to go with Uria's pet if you were deciding on one of these monsters. And then for the next 3 set of monsters, Lager Kong, Lathe, or Monster Clutch, I really can't recommend any of them, especially not Lager Kong. Do not get them. Also not Monster Clutch. 900 war coins is a lot of coins for a monster you will never ever use. If anything, you're going to be using him as a gold slave. He has a max GPM of 305, so if you're one of those players that already has all of your monsters at 130, if you're just looking for the monster with the highest gold production, Monster Clutch is your monster. Or if you're on a team that spends heavily and gets a lot of war coins from the Frat event, and you have the capability of spending war coins however you wish, then by all means get Monster Clutch. For the average player that is really conservative, that has to prioritize getting certain monsters or certain runes, I would say don't get any of these monsters. And obviously that goes for Rockovan. And as for cells, I can never ever recommend them unless you're really close. For example, General Uria, if I wanted to rank mine up, hey, you know what, 550 war coins or whatever, that's not too bad. So I could get the extra 20 cells and I could rank up my General Uria. And let's see what else we have. I think that's it. And then runes. This is what I always recommend from the team shop. If you want to purchase anything from the team shop, get some runes. More specifically, get the team speed level 7 runes or the team speed level 6 runes. I don't recommend level 4 runes just because there's rune dungeons where you can get level 4 runes easily. That's why I have so many. As you can see right there, team speed level 4, I have 22. And I don't recommend level 5 runes just because you can do the 111 rune crafting method to easily get one of your level 4 runes from the rune dungeon up to a level 5 rune. So in my opinion, level 4 runes and level 5 runes, those are a waste of war coins. So you should prioritize level 6 runes or level 7 runes. I recently bought a level 7 rune to put on my Faraday, so that's personally what I would recommend. I will say though, however, one thing you can do is to purchase a monster you don't have just to complete the books. As you can see, Monster Clutch is in Wing 6. I don't have him yet. He's 900 war coins. I actually am going to purchase him just so I can be one step closer to completing my library. And let's see what's actually in Wing number 7. So I got Monster Clutch. Lily is in my hatchery. So as soon as I get Uriel, I will finally get a level 7 Team Strength rune, which then I can try to craft into something else or just use it. So that's what I would recommend. Only buy something from the team shop if you need it to complete your library, or just get something that you need, which is probably going to be runes. Once again, as for the monsters, it's so hard to recommend any, but if I had to recommend a monster, I would have to say it's probably Uria's pet. I think for the price, it's the best value, followed by Thetis' pet, and then I think I'd skip General Uria, and at that point I'd get General Thetis. Overall, I gotta say I'm a bit disappointed with this team shop update, although I do imagine that when they release a Frat event, that's when they're gonna release the other generals, and maybe you'll get access to General Darman's Bodyguard. Maybe you'll get General Altus. He'll be pretty cheap. I think last time he was 1250. So I would say save your war coins more than anything. Save your war coins, wait for the Frat events. Even if you don't take advantage of Frat event, maybe there's going to be some great sales available. And so with that being said, that is going to conclude this video. I really hope it was helpful. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought about this team shop update video in the comments below. And more importantly, let me know which monster or runes are you going to be purchasing from the team shop.